I'm really impressed with how you talk about it and how much passion you have for it. Because in general, most people, I mean, and it might be the term snack because it seems like it's sort of a second thought kind of a thing. But you're like, no, it's sort of the meat, not just the potatoes. It's the meat that's so huge. So how did you
Mhm.
even start getting into this? Was it just you? Because I know it's a bigger company now. So
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So SnackNation formed out of Human, which stands for Helping Unite Mankind Nutrition, that we started back in 2008. And Human actually spawned out of a company that I started when I was an undergrad. I was a sophomore in school, in undergrad, and I thought I wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. But along the way, I was like, okay, if to be a surgeon, you got to be in school a long time, making no money, being really poor. I was like, I don't want to be poor, and I don't want to be poor when I'm in college. How do I make money? So I went to the undergrad gym, and I found out that by working at Columbia's gym, I could make about $12 an hour in a place that
yes.
smelled absolutely terrible. And I was like, okay, that's not that sweet. That's not really going to give me the fun money that I want in college. So I was like, well, what if I become a personal trainer? I realized that in New York City, a personal trainers, if you had a good clientele, could make $100 to $150 an hour. And I was like, wow, in college, that would be amazing. So I started becoming I became a professional private personal trainer in New York City. That was awesome. Made some good money. Was always popular amongst friends, probably for only that reason. And one day when I was personal training at a New York sports club on 80th and Broadway, I saw a woman buy a Coca-Cola out of a vending machine at the gym, take a swig out of it, put it in the cup holder of a treadmill, and start running. And I was just like, you
Wow.
got to be kidding me. Like, if here at a health club, we don't have access to the foods and drinks that we need to be healthy, what the hell is happening to the rest of the world, right? What's happening like where you are in Texas and where I grew up in northern Michigan, right? Not always known as the healthiest states. And I realized that not having access to healthy foods is a bigger problem than fighting the problem after it's already occurred and somebody's already 200 pounds overweight and is at the cardiothoracic ward of Columbia Presbyterian. So that's when I kind of just said, geez, why aren't there healthy vending
Thank you so
machines?
much for saying that too. I think a lot of small businesses don't understand that last metric very much. Like, how much do I need to put in to know how much lifetime value I'm going to get out in the long run?
Hmm.
Can you explain sort of a little bit how they could get that if they're a small business of like maybe 5 employees? That way they can actually do something with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So your cost of acquisition is basically, if you look at all of your sales and marketing expenses, so just look at over a course of a month, what are all of your sales and marketing expenses? And so for you, that might be maybe you're spending on Google AdWords, maybe you have two members of on your sales team, maybe you have a little bit of a marketing budget here and there. You take that total amount that you spent and you divide it by how many new customers you acquired, right? That's going to give you a number. Let's just say that that number is $500. Then you look at, okay, what is the lifetime value of that customer? So for us, it's really easy because we are a membership based business. So we can look at how much revenue and how much profit we're going to make on the average customer. And for us, that number's approaching $3,000 of actual profit per customer. And so then if you there's different metrics for different industries, but for us, if your LTV over CAC is greater than 3, so as long as if you're spending $500 on a customer, if you're making at least $1,500 over the lifetime of that customer, that's a really good ratio. If you're getting into the like 4 to 1, the $2,000 to that 500, that's really really strong. And so it's really important to know. And if you don't have a membership business, let's say that you have an e-commerce store, right? Whether you're selling info products or you're selling hard goods, you can look at how often does the average customer stay on board? How many times does the average customer purchase over the course of a year? If you don't have these metrics, you can make some pretty good estimated guesses, but you just got to be sure that your LTV over CAC ratio is positive or is above 1, right? Because if your cost of acquisition is greater than your lifetime value, you're never
you're
you're never going
you're
to make profits.
oozing money everywhere.